Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day today here in Agawam, Massachusetts. This is Hubby with Just About Anything Garage, and this is the planning video for the C30 project. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started with it, and let's review for a minute what we have here. So what we have here, of course, is my 1964 C30. It's the extended bed pickup. It's got a 157-inch wheelbase on it. And we're planning on making this into a custom tow vehicle with some very specific and some very interesting features. So here's basically what we're going to do. Here's the planning video. We're going to talk about what we're going to do. We'll leave a lot of the specifics to how we're going to do that to the separate videos that we're going to put out. We're going to tell you about right now in those. But what we're going to do is we're going to make this into a rollback. We're going to turn it into a rollback. As it's configured with its current springs, wheels, and axles, it can handle about 8,000 pounds. So it'll carry up to 8,000 pounds on the rollback. Now, as you recall, I also have what we call Big Bertha, which is my F600. It's our main transport vehicle. She's right over here. And I've got her bed up because I'm going to show you some stuff here in just a minute. We use her as the primary vehicle for just about every type of thing. We're doing tweaks on her and tune-ups and stuff like that. And she can carry about 12,000 pounds. So this will be about 4,000 pounds lighter, but it'll be a really good duty for a lot of the smaller vehicles. You can even do a pickup, just not a heavy-duty pickup on it. It's going to have a 7-foot wide by 16-foot long bed on it, and we're going to do some special features to it. One of the features we're going to do, because I want a custom tow vehicle out of it, is to have the ability with the rollback to also tow my trailer or any trailer that I want. And the way that we're going to do that is that when we put the bed on, we're going to take the last about 5.5 feet of the bed, and we're going to attach it via a gigantic piano hinge, heavy-duty piano hinge, and set it up such that the bed will flip up when we want it, fold back on itself, and expose the towing area. We're going to build a custom tow area right at the very back of the frame for the truck. As you can see here, we got some work to do, of course, but what we're going to do is right at the end of it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach a custom tow plate. The custom tow plate will have a receiver that'll be adjustable in terms of the height that you can adjust it. It'll have pockets where you can put your different towing receivers on it. For example, if you want a standard hitch, 2-inch hitch, you can just pull that one and put it in the receiver. If you want a circle, you can do that. If you want any type, we'll have 4 spaces for that. So that's part of it. The other thing that we're going to have, if we can fit it into it, is we're going to make it so just in front of the axles here, we'll do it on the frame with a little hidden door in the bed. You'll be able to do a gooseneck trailer as well. So it's going to be a fairly custom type thing. Now let me talk to you about the rollback portion of it for a second. It's why I have Big Bertha set up like here. What we're going to do is we're going to basically copy the mechanism on how she does that there, and I'm going to give you a little show on that so you can see what we're about. So in most cases for rollbacks, they're set up in this way. There are some that are a little bit different. Some of them have the hydraulics on these lift arms here instead of having the hydraulics in the back where the slide is for what this, but basically this is how this works. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it. In here on the major frame rails, as you can see right in there, I'm going to go ahead and put some light on it. It has a sliding. It works almost like a cabinet door slide, if you know what those are. You have these interior rails that are part of the bed, and on it there's a sliding mechanism that slides up and down. You have your hydraulic cylinders attached to the slide mechanism, and then the other portion is attached firmly to the frame. So when the hydraulics extend, they push the bed forward. Okay, and where do you get your rocking motion? Your rocking motion comes from these lift arms right here. So as it goes forward, it pulls on the lift arms, they run through an arc, and they lift the back up to where you get full extension. This isn't quite like full extension. It can extend a little bit further if we want to, but you get the idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate how this is done, and we're going to do it here with just a slightly smaller gauge of heavy dutiness than what's on there. And then we're going to incorporate into it, of course, the flip top on this. Now, the way the flip top's going to work is there's going to be a gigantic piano hinge right here. This is at the 12-foot mark. It actually has to line up a little bit further back to where the frame is, because we want it to line up directly with the frame. It'll be a gigantic piano hinge where it sits flush. It'll hit up against this, and then we'll have holes in here that will extend the locks that'll come all the way down and support the 5 feet. We'll put them on hydraulics on each side, and that's what'll lock it into place. When you go to flip it, the hydraulics will pull the locks back, and then a mechanism. What we'll do is we'll put a rod here that's welded to this portion, the flip portion of the tailgate, with a big sprocket on it, a large, smaller driver sprocket, and we'll have either a hydraulic or electric motor. It'll just turn it then and cause us to flip up, and fold back on itself so that you can get access to the towing portions of the truck for the trailer mounts. So obviously she's got a lot of work that needs to be done. So let's talk about how we're going to go ahead and do this, how we're going to approach it, and how many videos are there, because we're going to have a video series on it for what we're doing, and it'll probably comprise it'll be a little bit variable, but probably right around 12 videos. So the first thing that we'll do is, and you can see where I've got tires off because we're checking the brakes, because if you've seen the update video, and you'll have one more update before we start to do the main work, what we're trying to do is to get it to be a reliable mover, right? So we got everything in the engine compartment pretty much taken care of. The only things we need to do is get the brakes working, and we hit a leak in the line, so we wanted to go sure and make sure that the cylinders, slave cylinders on the brakes are functioning all, they're not leaking. We'll fix the lines and then we'll use that. Otherwise, we're just going to use the trans brake as our brake, because we're going to need to move it in and out and around as we go ahead and we're doing the project. So I want to have a reliable mover. I don't want to crash in anything, cause more problems for myself, and that type of thing. But the basic will be, video number 1 will be going ahead and getting the bed cleared off on this, getting the back bed, pulling it off, getting access to the back, and set up such that we can go ahead and we can go in and we can do any repair work on the frame, any cleanup work on the frame. There's little key spots like I showed in some of the updates where they have put wood underneath for the block ups down here. If you can take a look at that, and it's thinned it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and repair that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take these channels and we're going to box the channels. We're going to go and we're going to weld steel over the channel covers from here to here, all the way down, to strengthen it and just make it good and strong. And basically clean up the frame on the back portion so that we can go ahead and get ready to make the changes to the frame or the additions to it that'll need that. Okay, so that'll be video number 1. We'll do that. We'll come under here. There's not a lot of changes to be done here. There's not a lot underneath the cab that needs to happen, but we'll go ahead and we'll fiddle with that. We're going to leave the cab on for now. So we may have to do some stuff later in a different video for that, but that'll be number 1. Addressing the frame, cleaning it up, making sure that it's stable for the platform. And then video number 2 will be, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attack the front end, start from the front, and we'll work ourselves to the back, where we're going to upgrade the suspension. We're going to go to full disc brakes on the front, because there's a kit that can do that. We'll go ahead and we'll change all the bushings on the front. We'll get all the steering with fresh new components in it, so we have a nice stable front end to work with. And then what we'll do is we'll come to the back. We'll do the same thing here. We'll address any issues in the axles, if it needs bearings, if it needs new axles for it. We'll go ahead and we'll change the rear end out to the appropriate gears that we want to have in this based on the engine combination that we're going to have, and clean it up and do any of the springs if they need assist. We're probably going to add an air assist here, not to get more weight support on it because we don't want to stress the frame, but just for leveling capabilities and for just a little bit of assist. So if you load it to the 8,000 pounds that we expect that we're going to carry, and the specs for the truck say that it can carry that much, we can take a little bit of stress off of certain components, make sure that it's leveled up with that. So we'll go ahead and we'll address that. That'll be video number 2. You'll see all of that. Video number 3 then will be going ahead and pulling the cab off so we get access to the entire thing. Once we pull the cab off and we've cleared the cab, you'll see that. We'll go and address any issues where the cab was attached that we need to handle. And then we'll also, in that one, pull the drivetrain out. And the reason we're going to pull the drivetrain out is that we want to get access to everything, change carrier bearings if we have to, all that type of stuff, to get it ready to do that, and to put in the new drivetrain. Remember, we're talking about putting in a different drivetrain into this based on the LT1 motor or a 350 motor, along with the transmission I've shown you into other things. Well, we'll at that point, once we got everything out, video number 3 or 4 will be us doing that new engine and transmission combination. And the reason we want to also get it in there is we got to make sure we have room and where the routing is going to be for the PTO and the cables that are the hydraulic hoses that are going to come off and fuel the system. As you see right here, it's got this transmission is the one that we're going to use. It came out of a newer model. I think I quoted in the 70s, but I think it's actually 80s square body. It came off of a heavy duty dump. So it's got the PTO and it's got the pump built into it. We're going to want to fit that and make sure it's in there, that the drivetrain components are all good. We'll rebuild that. That'll be that. Then we'll go ahead and we'll start to reverse certain actions that we've taken. Like we pulled the drivetrain out. We'll go ahead and we'll clean up. Video 4 to 5, we'll be putting the drivetrain back in so that we have a complete moving and rolling chassis that's all ready to go for the modifications. Once we know that we've got that in there and where all our components are going to lay out, we'll go ahead and we're going to build our deck and our system for the rollback and for the swing tailgate. That'll be video 5 or 6 or 7 doing that. Once we've got that in complete, we'll go ahead and we'll test certain aspects of it to make sure everything is working. We'll address any other issues such as lights and stuff like that with it off is easy access for us to do that. And once we've done that, we'll then address the cab, doing all the all the work on the cab. It's going to need corners, it's going to need rockets, it's going to need some floor sections. We're getting it all cleaned up and everything ready to go with that. So that'll be 7 or 8 videos. Then we'll go ahead, we'll put it all back together. We'll get the chassis on there. We'll get everything in. We'll test all the systems and make sure it all works together. That'll be video 8 or 9. And then after that, we're going to go up and we're going to make it pretty. We're going to go through it. We'll make sure that we have the new grill pieces. We'll make sure we do any painting or any more work that we need to do to get it all set and ready to go. And then probably 10 to 11 or 12. And it depends on how long and how much time the videos are, because I don't like to put videos out that are much longer than about 45 minutes. I think people get bored with that and they start to advance through it. And I rather you see the work of what we're doing. We'll go ahead and we'll get it all cleaned up and we'll get it ready for the road. We'll take it for its shakedown drive on the last 11 or 12, and then we're done and we're ready to roll. So that's the plan. We should have somewhere around 12. We're going to duplicate what Big Bertha's got, just in a little bit lighter duty format. We're going to have some special features on it with the flip back and to be able to do the gooseneck, and with the trailing having the ability to adjust higher and lower and all that type of stuff. And hopefully we can fit the 10 pounds of stuff into a 5-pound package, because that's basically where it's coming out. If we have to make changes, we may make changes along the way. But that is what the plan is with that. So stay tuned with that. It should be pretty exciting. You'll get to see the problems that we run into and the adjustments that we have to make for it, and to get this thing up and running and doing the things that we want it to do. So I hope it's exciting for you. I want you guys to hang in there and wait. We'll have that first video coming out very shortly for that. And if you would do all that jazz for me, I appreciate it. It helps us to grow the channel. And you guys have a great day. And we'll see you here shortly with the first phase of the project. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it.